Proverbs chapter 9. Wisdom has built herself a palace upon 7 pillars to keep it secure. She has made ready a banquet feast, and the sacrifice has been killed. She has mingled her wine, and the tables all set. She has sent out her maidens, crying out from the high place, inviting everyone to come and eat until they're full. Whoever wants to know me and receive my wisdom, come and dine at my table and drink of my wine. Lay aside your simple thoughts and leave your paths behind. Agree with my ways, live in my truth, and you will find righteousness. If you try to correct an arrogant cynic, expect an angry insult in return. And if you try to confront an evil man, don't be surprised if all you get is a slap in the face. So don't even bother to correct a mocker, for he'll only hate you for it. But go ahead and correct the wise. They'll love you even more. Teach a wise man what is right, and he'll grow even wiser. Instruct the lovers of God, and they'll learn even more. The starting point for acquiring wisdom is to be consumed with awe as you worship Yahweh. To receive the revelation of the Holy One, you must come to the one who has living understanding. Wisdom will extend your life, making every year more fruitful than the one before. So it is to your advantage to be wise. But to ignore the counsel of wisdom is to invite trouble into your life. There is a spirit named Foolish, who is boisterous and brash. She's seductive and restless. And there she sits at the gateway to the high places, on her throne overlooking the city. She preaches to all who walk by her, who are clueless as to what is happening. Come home with me. She invites those who are easily led astray, saying, illicit sex is the best sex of all. Our secret affair will be sweeter than all others. Little do they know, when they answer her call, that she dwells among the spirits of the dead, and all her guests soon become citizens of hell. The wisdom of Solomon. When wisdom comes to a son, joy comes to a father. When a son turns from wisdom, a mother grieves. Gaining wealth through dishonesty is no gain at all, but honesty brings you a lasting happiness. The Lord satisfies the longings of all his lovers, but he withholds from the wicked what their souls crave. Slackers will know what it means to be poor, while the hard worker becomes wealthy. Know the importance of the season you're in, and a wise son you will be. But what a waste when an incompetent son sleeps through his day of opportunity. The lover of God is enriched beyond belief, but the evil man only curses his luck. The reputation of the righteous becomes a sweet memorial to him, while the wicked life only leaves a rotten stench. The heart of the wise will easily accept instruction, but those who do all the talking are too busy to listen and learn. They'll just keep stumbling ahead into the mess they created. The one who walks in integrity will experience a fearless confidence in life, but the one who is devious will eventually be exposed. The troublemaker always has a clever plan and won't look you in the eye. But the one who speaks correction honestly can be trusted to make peace. The teachings of the lovers of God are like living truth flowing from the fountain of life. But the words of the wicked hide an ulterior motive. Hatred keeps old quarrels alive, but love draws a veil over every insult and finds a way to make sin disappear. Words of wisdom flow from the one with true discernment, but to the heartless, words of wisdom become like rods beating their backside. Wise men don't divulge all they know, but chattering fools blurt out words that bring them to the brink of ruin. A rich man's wealth becomes like a citadel of strength, but the poverty of the poor leaves their security in shambles. The lovers of God earn their wages for a life of righteousness, but the wages of the wicked are squandered on a life of sin. If you readily receive correction, you are walking on the path to life. But if you reject rebuke, you're guaranteed to go astray. The one who hides his hatred while pretending to be your friend is nothing but a liar. But the one who slanders you behind your back proves that he's a fool, never to be trusted. If you keep talking, it won't be long before you're saying something really wrong. Prove you're wise from the very start. Just bite your tongue and be strong. The teachings of the godly ones are like pure silver, bringing words of redemption to others. But the heart of the wicked is corrupt. The lovers of God feed many with their teachings, but the foolish ones starve themselves for lack of an understanding heart. True enrichment comes from the blessing of the Lord, with rest and contentment, in knowing that it all comes from Him. The fool finds fun in planning to do wrong, but the wise delight in having discernment. The lawless are haunted by their fears, and what they dread will come upon them. But the longings of the lovers of God will all be fulfilled. The wicked are blown away by every stormy wind, but when a catastrophe comes, the lovers of God have a secure anchor. To trust a lazy person to get a job done will be as irritating as smoke in your eyes, as enjoyable as a toothache. Living in the worship and awe of God will bring you many years of contented living. So how could the wicked ever expect to have a long, happy life? Lovers of God have a joyful feast of gladness, but the ungodly see their hopes vanish right before their eyes. The beautiful ways of God are a safe resting place for those who have integrity. But to those who work wickedness, the ways of God spell doom. God's lover can never be greatly shaken, but the wicked will never inherit the covenant blessings. The teachings of the righteous are loaded with wisdom, but the words of the evil ones are crooked and perverse. Words that bring delight pour from the lips of the godly, but the words of the wicked are duplicitous. Dishonest business practice is something that Yahweh truly hates, but it pleases Him when we apply the right standards of measurement. When you act with presumption, convinced that you're right, don't be surprised if you fall flat on your face. But humility leads to wisdom. Integrity will lead you to success, but treachery will destroy your dreams. When Judgment Day comes, all the wealth of the world won't help you one bit. So be rich in righteousness, for that's the only thing that can save you in death. Those with good character walk on a smooth path with no detour or deviation. But the wicked keep falling because of their own wickedness. Integrity will keep a good man from falling, but the unbeliever is trapped, held captive to his sinful desires. When an evil man dies, all hope is lost, for his misplaced confidence goes in the coffin, buried along with him. The righteous are snatched away from trouble, and the wicked show up in their place. The teachings of hypocrites can destroy you, but revelation knowledge will rescue the righteous. The blessing that rests on the righteous releases strength and favor to the entire city, but shouts of joy will be heard when the wicked one dies. The blessing of favor resting upon the righteous influences a city to lift it higher, but wicked leaders tear it apart by their words. To quarrel with a neighbor is senseless. Bite your tongue, be wise, and keep quiet. You can't trust gossipers with a secret. They'll just go blab it all. Put your confidence instead in a trusted friend, for he will be faithful to keep it in confidence. People lose their way without wise leadership, but a nation succeeds and stands in victory when it has many good counselors to guide it. The evil man will do harm when confronted by a righteous man, because he hates those who await good news. A gracious, generous woman will be honored with a splendid reputation, but the woman who hates the truth lives with disgrace and is surrounded by men who are cutthroats, only greedy for money. A man of kindness attracts favor, while a cruel man attracts nothing but trouble. Evil people may get a short-term gain, but to sow seeds of righteousness will bring a true and lasting reward. A son of righteousness experiences the abundant life, but the one who pursues evil hurries to his own death. The Lord can't stand the stubborn heart bent toward evil, but he treasures those whose ways are pure. Assault your neighbor, and you will certainly be punished, but God will rescue the children of the godly. A beautiful woman who abandons good morals is like a fine gold ring dangling from a pig's snout. True lovers of God are filled with longings for what is pleasing and good, but the wicked can only expect doom. Generosity brings prosperity, but withholding from charity brings poverty. Those who live to bless others will have blessings heaped upon them, and the one who pours out his life to pour out blessings will be saturated with favor. People will curse the businessman with no ethics, but the one with a social conscience receives praise from all. Living your life seeking what is good for others brings untold favor, but those who wish evil for others will find it coming back on them. Keep trusting in your riches, and down you'll go. But the lovers of God rise up like flowers in the spring. The fool who brings trouble to his own family will be cut out of the will, and the family servant will do better than he. But a life lived loving God bears lasting fruit, for the one who is truly wise wins souls. If the righteous are barely saved, what's in store for all the wicked? To learn the truth, you must long to be teachable, or you can despise correction and remain ignorant. If your heart is right, favor flows from the Lord, but a devious heart invites his condemnation. You can't expect success by doing what's wrong, but the lives of his lovers are deeply rooted and firmly planted. The integrity and strength of a virtuous wife transforms her husband into an honored king. But the wife who disgraces her husband weakens the strength of his identity. The lovers of God are filled with good ideas that are noble and pure, but the schemes of the sinner are crammed with nothing but lies. The wicked use their words to ambush and accuse, but the lovers of God speak to defend and protect. The wicked are taken out, gone for good, but the godly families shall live on. Everyone admires a man of principles, but the one with a corrupt heart is despised. Just be who you are and work hard for a living, for that's better than pretending to be important and starving to death. A good man takes care of the needs of his pets, while even the kindest acts of a wicked man are still cruel. Work hard at your job and you'll have what you need. Following a get-rich-quick scheme is nothing but a fantasy. The cravings of the wicked are only for what is evil, but righteousness is the core motivation for the lovers of God, and it keeps them content and flourishing. The wicked will get trapped by their words of gossip, slander, and lies. But for the righteous, honesty is its own defense. For there is great satisfaction in speaking the truth, and hard work brings blessings back to you. A fool is in love with his own opinion, but wisdom means being teachable. If you shrug off an insult and refuse to take offense, you demonstrate discretion indeed. But the fool has a short fuse and will immediately let you know when he's offended. Truthfulness marks the righteous, but the habitual liar can never be trusted. Reckless words are like the thrusts of a sword, cutting remarks meant to stab and to hurt. But the words of the wise soothe and heal. Truthful words will stand the test of time, but one day every lie will be seen for what it is. Deception fills the heart of those who plot harm, but those who plan for peace are filled with joy. Calamity is not allowed to overwhelm the righteous, but there's nothing but trouble waiting for the wicked. Live in the truth and keep your promises, and the Lord will keep delighting in you. But he detests a liar. Those who possess wisdom don't feel the need to impress others with what they know, but foolish ones make sure their ignorance is on display. If you want to reign in life, don't sit on your hands. Instead, work hard at doing what's right, for the slacker will end up working to make someone else succeed. Anxious fear brings depression, but a life-giving word of encouragement can do wonders to restore joy to the heart. Lovers of God give good advice to their friends, but the counsel of the wicked will lead them astray. A passive person won't even complete a project, but a passionate person makes good use of his time, wealth, and energy. Abundant life is discovered by walking in righteousness, but holding on to your anger leads to death. A wise son or daughter desires a father's discipline, but the know-it-all never listens to correction. The words of the wise are kind and easy to swallow, but the unbeliever just wants to pick a fight and argue. Guard your words, and you'll guard your life. But if you don't control your tongue, it will ruin everything. The slacker wants it all and ends up with nothing, but the hard worker ends up with all that he longed for. Lovers of God hate what is phony and false, but the wicked are full of shame and behave shamefully. Righteousness is like a shield of protection, guarding those who keep their integrity. But sin is the downfall of the wicked. One pretends to be rich but is poor. Another pretends to be poor but is quite rich. The self-assurance of the rich is their money, but people don't kidnap and extort the poor. The virtues of God's lovers shine brightly in the darkness, but the flickering lamp of the ungodly will be extinguished. Wisdom opens your heart to receive wise counsel, but pride closes your ears to advice and gives birth only to quarrels and strife. Wealth quickly gained is quickly wasted. Easy come, easy go. But if you gradually gain wealth, you will watch it grow. When hope's dream seems to drag on and on, the delay can be depressing. But when at last your dream comes true, life's sweetness will satisfy your soul. Despise the word, will you? Then you'll pay the price, and it won't be pretty. But the one who honors the Father's holy instructions will be rewarded. When the lovers of God teach you truth, a fountain of life opens up within you, and their wise instruction will deliver you from the ways of death. Everyone admires a wise, sensible person, but the treacherous walk on the path of ruin. Everything a wise and shrewd man does comes from a source of revelation knowledge, but the behavior of a fool puts foolishness on parade. An undependable messenger causes a lot of trouble, but the trustworthy and wise messengers release healing wherever they go. Poverty and disgrace come to the one who refuses to hear criticism, but the one who is easy to correct is on the path of honor. When God fulfills your longings, sweetness fills your soul, but the wicked refuse to turn from darkness to see their desires come to pass. If you want to grow in wisdom, spend time with the wise. Walk with the wicked, and you'll eventually become just like them. Calamity chases the sin chaser, but prosperity pursues the God lover. The benevolent man leaves an inheritance that endures to his children's children, but the wealth of the wicked is treasured up for the righteous. The lovers of God will live a long life and get to enjoy their wealth, but the ungodly will suddenly perish. If you withhold correction and punishment from your children, you demonstrate a lack of true love. So prove your love and be prompt to punish them. The lovers of God will have more than enough, but the wicked will always lack what they crave.